Where are you now?
From CONOPS and the SSDB. As we move 23, we are also determined to work with all the stakeholders to achieve the key benchmarks set out in that plan. Its implementation is a cornerstone to the exit strategy of AUSSOM in the near future. Together, we must sustain the gains made against Al-Shabaab, and this will require a Somali National Army Forces with the support of the Community Defense Forces. Early this month, I have called on the Somali political elite, the civil society organizations.
Thank you very much. Uganda, there is a commissioner on ignorance, are mortal enemies of the future of the African race. Those is poisonous and should be discouraged. Culture, even before colonialism, the tribes could live peacefully. Fish to me is haram. This is how I get a problem when they invite time. Haram, 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 haram. My list of haram is much longer than all those people. If you produce and sell, the one who buys from you is a friend, is helping you, is giving you prosperity in your pocket. But now you are killing your potential customers who could buy from you because they are from another tribe. This is a crime. This is a crime. We cannot go and continue being polite about this meeting, Excellence, Madame, Mademoiselle, which I normally hear in Addis Ababa.
Let me start by paying tribute to all troop contributing countries and for the sacrifice made for the sake of peace and stability in Somalia. I also praise the memory of our fallen soldiers and wish quick recovery to those who are wounded. Your Excellencies, the troop reconfiguration of ATMIS to AUSSOM has been successfully conducted. The adoption of Resolution 2719, thanks to the African A3 members of the UN Security Council and the African Union Commission, is also a milestone event. However, there are still reluctances to implement Resolution 2719 to Somalia. It will take a collective effort to mobilize financial resources up to $190 million for the 2 phases of ATMIS AUSSOM during the course of 2025. Your Excellencies, the gain of territories against the terrorist group Al-Shabaab have to be recognized, although some setbacks have been reported recently. However, it is paramount to consolidate those gains in making AUSSOM fully operational. In the same vein, the federal government of Somalia should speed up the fourth generation process for more sustainable frontline positions of the Somali security forces. The Commission also urged the federal government of Somalia to pursue its political efforts in the state institution building processes. This will certainly include a greater inclusivity at the level of the National Consultation Council, with the participation of all federal states. And we recognize here that His Excellency President Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud has convened a meeting early May to invite all federal states to come and start dialogue with him and with the federal government. We congratulate President Hassan Sheikh for that. Your Excellency, Somalia has been at the top of the African Union peace agenda close to 20 years now. Despite the financial challenges, the African Union will continue to support peace and stability in Somalia. We cannot afford losing the gains made so far and all the sacrifices made by our sons and daughters. The African Union Commission is engaging all partners, and in particular, our member countries of the African Union, to ease the constraints on the peace funds so that more resources be available to avoid any failure in the transition process from ATMIS to AUSSOM. The Commission will request from troop contributing countries to convince other member countries of the African Union of the necessity to rely on domestic resources in these troubled times. Your Excellencies, let me conclude by reaffirming the full commitment of the African Union Commission to support the African Union Peace Mission in Somalia out of solidarity with the government and the people of Somalia. And finally, I would like to thank our partners who have been supporting the African Union mission from the very beginning. The United Nations, the European Union, the United States, and so many others. I thank you.
Of the extraordinary summit of the troop contributing countries to the African Union support and stabilization mission in Somalia and the federal government of Somalia. At the invitation of His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda, the summit of heads of state and government of troop contributing countries to the African Union support and stabilization mission in Somalia was held on the 25th of April, 2025, under the chairmanship of His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. The summit was attended by His Excellency Dr. Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, President of the Federal Government of Somalia, His Excellency Professor Kithure Kindiki, Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency Abdul Kader Kamil Mohammed, Prime Minister of the Republic of Djibouti, His Excellency Dr. Mustafa Maldoubli, Prime Minister of the Arab Republic of Egypt, and Her Excellency Aisha Mohamed Musa, Minister of Defense of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia. The summit was also attended by His Excellency Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, Chairperson of the African Union Commission, His Excellency Dr. Wokni Gebeyehu, Executive Secretary of the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, His Excellency James Swan, Special Representative of the United Nations Secretary General and the Head of the United Nations Transition Mission in Somalia, Her Excellency Ms. Aisa Kachira Kirabo, Assistant Secretary General and Head of the United Nations Support Office in Somalia, and also in attendance were Their Excellencies, the ambassadors in Uganda of the European Union delegation, the United Kingdom, and the United States of America. The purpose of the summit was to discuss the prevailing security situation in Somalia, and during the summit, the heads of state received a report of the ministerial meeting, that is for Ministers of Foreign Affairs and Defense, on the review and proposed way forward on the security situation and performance of AUSSOM sector by sector, update on the Somali security forces, state of preparedness and progress in force generation, integration and mentorship, status of handed over forward operating bases, the AUSSOM exit plan, funding of AUSSOM, and TCCs, plus Somalia peer review mechanism for oversight, accountability, coordination, monitoring and evaluation for AUSSOM, and the Somali Security Development Plan. The summit was preceded by the ministerial and senior officials meeting from the 22nd to the 24th of April, 2025 at Misil Hotel, Kampala, where a ministerial report was adopted and presented to the heads of state and government. The summit noted with appreciation the progress made by the leadership of the federal government of Somalia, which includes joining the East African Community, becoming a non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council, lifting of the arms embargo, implementing financial reforms necessary for economic growth, as well as preparation for the next election, where they have embarked on registration of voters. Directed the chiefs of defense forces of the TCCs plus Somalia to work out a comprehensive plan to deter, degrade, and eliminate Al-Shabaab. Underscored the importance to increase the AUSSOM troops on a bilateral basis in the short run to address the prevailing security situation in Somalia so as not to roll back the hard-earned gains made so far. Reaffirmed their commitment to continue to support the federal government of Somalia in its stabilization efforts in the spirit of Pan-Africanism. Stressed the need to increase air assets, capabilities, and intelligence surveillance and reconnaissance as force multipliers, and further underscored the importance of using all available assets in a coordinated manner. Underlined the need to ensure proper fortification of forward operating bases in the AUSSOM sectors. Encouraged the federal government of Somalia to strengthen civil-military coordination, prioritizing humanitarian relief and quick impact stabilization projects in recovered territories to consolidate security gains and foster enduring community trust. Took note of the federal government of Somalia's efforts to strengthen its relationship with the federal member states through the National Consultative Council mechanism. Reaffirmed the need to establish mechanisms for countering extremist narratives, to counter Al-Shabaab propaganda by promoting interests as opposed to identity. Stressed the importance of recruiting community, local defense forces, and mobile forces to hold and consolidate areas that were liberated. Underscored the need to finalize the African Union and United Nations procedures to expedite the deployment of the Egyptian troops. Stressed the importance of addressing operational shortfalls through provision of adequate, sustainable, and predictable funding and rapid force generation to fill identified capability gaps, ensuring mission effectiveness and boosting morale among deployed personnel. Reiterated that the best solution to adequate, predictable, and sustainable funding is the application of the UN Security Council Resolution 2719 of 2023 on Somalia. Welcomed the role of the traditional and non-traditional partners to support the African Union Support and Stabilization Mission in Somalia and the federal government of Somalia. Agreed to submit the decisions of the recommendations of this extraordinary summit of the troop contributing countries to the African Union Support and Stabilization Mission in Somalia and the federal government of Somalia to the African Union Peace and Security Council for endorsement and onward transmission to the United Nations Security Council as a working document, and commended His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda, for convening this extraordinary summit and expressed appreciation for the excellent facilities extended by the government of the Republic of Uganda to all delegations. Done at Entebe State House on the 25th of April, 2025, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda, His Excellency Dr. Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, President of the Federal Government of Somalia, His Excellency Professor Kithure Kindiki, Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency Abdulkadir Kamil Mohammed, Prime Minister of the Republic of Djibouti, His Excellency Dr. Mustafa Madubli, Prime Minister of the Arab Republic of Egypt, and Her Excellency Engineer Aisha Mohammed Musa, Minister of Defense of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia. Your Excellencies, I beg to submit for your consideration.
I urge all our partners to continue their unwavering support and commitment to Somalia and also to support us in this critical juncture. Let us work together towards a shared vision of a stable and prosperous Somalia where all citizens can live in peace and prosperity. Sustained commitment to peacekeeping missions is essential. Somalia is a success story for the African Union mission and the critical role of the United Nations logistics support has been effective, especially in protecting civilians and stabilizing our regions. Once again, I thank His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the people of Uganda, their warm welcome and hospitality, and I look forward to continued cooperation and collaboration with all partners. I thank you all.
A continued small Somali National Army in terms of numbers, plus a small AUSSOM force from friends is a very dangerous underdose that has caused the chronic sickness of insecurity of Somalia. In fact, Al-Shabaab is a very weak force. Otherwise, all this time and space you have given them, by this time they would be very strong if they had a healthy embryo that could grow. This is my opinion.